Supreme Court striking down tariffs. Now, as you guys know, I mean, my business has paid a lot of money in tariffs this year. And the biggest question wasn't if the Supreme Court was going to rule them unconstitutional, but how we were going to go about getting refunded. Because morally speaking here, not legally, the tariffs that were collected were illegally collected. That's the ruling of the court. The court said that the IEPA's authority to regulate importation cannot be read as a blank check to impose open-ended tariffs. So, and taxation is not a power that the president has, even under IEPA. Is what the Supreme Court is saying. They said the kind of broad revenue raising belongs to Congress. It's an Article 1 power. So I went through the decision itself because it does have a lot of impact in my pocket here. The other tariffs are valid. There's Section 232, 301, and there's a few other sections that fall under presidential authority to impose. And it's funny. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, governor of Arkansas, former press secretary for the president, she said the quickest way to get Trump to do something is tell him he can't. I would say the second quickest way to tell him to do something is the Dow tells him or the market tells him. Because during Liberation or after Liberation Day, when the market went in the plunge or the fluctuations that it did initially, how long did it take for them to sit down with China? And Besant was putting out all kinds of statements, and he had to tame the business community and so on and so on. And it's not like Trump hesitated in imposing more tariffs again. In the end of the day, some businesses ate the tariff and some businesses charged the consumer. I was long of the opinion, not on this channel, but my other, that we will not be seeing those refunds. As business owners, we're not seeing those refunds because giving it back would be too complex and it'll be impossible to track down who exactly paid what. If I only began to explain to you what the difference between FOB and DDP was, I mean, I need another video in and of itself. But long story short, one of the biggest ways some companies got around paying duties were China opened up corporations in the United States. China, or I should say Chinese factories opened up corporations in the United States, which they could do without identification. They imported the goods to that dummy company, underdeclared the value, prepaid the value, and then had that dummy company simply transfer it to you as a domestic transfer where no tariffs were due. Liability lies all on the Chinese company. Usually Customs and Border Patrol wouldn't buy that. They would still come after you as the final destination co-signee, but that became in 2025 too common practice. And can you imagine now giving back all of those billions to dummy corporations, or do you give it back to the final co-signee that Customs and Border Patrol goes after? It's complicated and it's not so clear cut.